Correo Canadiense, Correo TV, program I am Isabel Inclán, editor-in-chief of Correo Canadiense newspaper. And today we will talk about the importance to get the vaccination against COVID-19. And I welcome Dr. Mar Lyn, who is the project coordinator at the Black Creek Community Health Center. Dr. Lyn, welcome.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. And he's here because we will talk about the next clinic to get the vaccination against COVID-19 at the Center for Spanish-Speaking People this March the 4th. But first, I need to ask you, Dr. Lyn, why is important to get that vaccines, the first dose, the second dose, even though the third dose? Why is important to get that protection?
Okay, good. Well, a great question, Isabel, something that's very relevant to today's pandemic. And as you know, this is one of the more severe pandemics we've ever been hit with worldwide. And so in order to move on with our lives and get back to the times that were good, where we didn't need all the protection, we need to protect ourselves as we move forward. As we know the new mandates are coming in, we're going to be able to go out and socialize once more. Giving yourself a vaccine gives you an opportunity to fight against the pathogens that may enter from the COVID-19. And so the shot, what it does, it builds up your immune system in order to combat the antigens that may enter your body. And so this is what we're trying to do, Isabel, is to protect each and every one of us, right? To reduce those symptoms, to reduce the ability for the virus to replicate in the body and then to spread to one another. As we're going to be congregating, as the spring is ahead of us, we're going to be congregating in our social atmosphere again, going back out to bars, restaurants, gyms, and being very close proximity to each other. We want to make sure that we do at least have that first line of defense to fight against the COVID-19 virus.
Okay, Dr. Lyn, and I know you are the lead of the Black Vaccine Strategy, which runs COVID-19 vaccine clinics and also COVID-19 testing. So what can you tell us about the strategies that you and your team are taking to work with different communities, especially with the groups of people that they don't want to get vaccine?
Right, and that's a great question. So what we've been doing, Isabel, is putting ourselves in areas that we're accessible. So we're by the places of worship. We go there by schools, we go to the apartment buildings and in communities to offer at least information initially. So when we're there to answer questions about health, to explain what the vaccines are, to speak more about what COVID-19 and what it relates to these individual people. Of course, people have been very hesitant because it's very new. It's something that stimulates fear in all of us. And with something being new, we tend not to be so aggressive in going after getting a vaccine, especially when we don't know what's going on. So what we do, Isabel, is to present ourselves for information first, to discuss with you all of your health concerns, what COVID-19 is, what this pandemic means to you, and how it relates to you and your family. And with this sort of passive approach, with not being too aggressive with vaccines and COVID, it gives people a chance to feel comfortable. So that their questions are being answered by health professionals, by the nurses, by the physicians that are on site, and they have a better understanding as to why it will benefit them moving forward. So at that point, they oftentimes see faces that are relatable. They're very comfortable with us, and we express the fact that we're also having those same feelings. But after going forth and looking at the benefits of getting the vaccines, we see where it has helped. We have lowered hospitalizations. We have lowered those ICU numbers, even though the numbers have been going up rapidly. That we're now able to control the severity of the disease.
Yeah, this is the reality. After, when we were talking about COVID pandemic on 2020, we were like, we don't know what is going on. And then 2021, we have the different vaccines against this virus. But now we are talking about after 2 years of pandemic. So the fact is, people with vaccines don't necessarily go to the emergency, to the hospital, and can stay at home and pass that situation and then be okay, right? This is the fact. This is important to say now after 2 years of pandemic, no?
Yes, absolutely, Isabel. You're right. You're right. You hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. And we can see that. We can see the fact that even though those numbers increased, that we were reducing those ICU admissions and those hospitalizations. Now you're having very mild symptoms. Oftentimes, they go over in just a few days as opposed to being long bedridden, looking for, ICU beds or in the emergency room and being on ventilators. And so you're absolutely right. We've seen that decrease drastically, even though the numbers of people having it may be even increased right now.
Great. And I have the information about from the Toronto City Hall, and they said that around 91.3% of Toronto's population, they have the vaccine already. So that is like, we need to clap our population because this is a great, great percentage. But the reason to have this program is because we are talking about the rest of the people, the 9% of the Toronto population in this case, that they don't have the vaccine yet. And probably some of our Latin American members of the community are in this almost 9%. So for this reason, Toronto, the organization that called Center for Spanish Speaking People and also the Black Creek Clinic are working together to have one clinic this Saturday, this March the 4th,
Yes.
for 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. What
right.
we will have in this clinic?
Okay, Isabel. So in this clinic, we're going to be there providing information on COVID-19, giving you take-home tests as well too, and as well to giving the vaccine. We will be doing some pre-screenings as well too, which is screening for diabetes, hypertension, things that may have gone unnoticed or unmeasured during this pandemic time. So again, we travel with a team of health professionals that are here to answer any questions that might be related to COVID. It may be related to health in general. And so we will be making ourselves accessible so that our wonderful Hispanic community can join us and get any questions answered, get vaccines done, and they can get some take-home tests as well too, to go home to their families.
Okay, so the invitation is to go to the Center for Spanish-Speaking People that is located at 2141 Jane Street, and to take the advantage of this clinic that is going to be open from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. and they will provide those kind of first doses, second doses, third doses, all that kind of information for a person, child from 9 to 11, and
From
also,
5 to 11
5 to 11, and 12 to 17,
right.
and 18 plus. So
That's
all,
correct.
all the age, no?
That is correct, exactly. And we'll both have Pfizer and Moderna, whichever one you'd like to take. We have both available and we're making it accessible. Again, we're reaching out to communities that sometimes don't have the access and we're making it accessible. We're making it comfortable. We're bringing in, all our Spanish speaking physicians and health professionals so that way they can have questions answered. Another thing we want to make sure that we remind them that there is no OHIP necessary to join us. And so we're able to answer any health questions you may have, things that you want addressed and you want to feel comfortable. We're making it a very safe space and we've never forgotten our communities. We're going to continue to support and help all the people that may sometimes be marginalized. And we're trying to make things equitable for our community.
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Mar Lyn, this is also my next question. That clinic will be free. You don't need to have or to bring we call OHIP. This is the green card to get the
Right. If you have it, bring it. If you don't have it, right.
It's free for that. Just present yourself. They need to bring any kind of ID,
mail, anything that we can use. Just
identify your number and just present down there.
Card, exactly. Anything that we can use will be helpful.
And then there is no need to get a previous registration or something like that, right?
Exactly. We'll make sure that registration goes well. We have the professionals on hand, and we'll make sure that everything goes well for the community.
Okay, so the invitation is this Friday, March the 4th, going to the Center for Spanish Speaking People located at 2141 Jane Street and get the vaccination. Thanks for the services of the Black Creek Community Health Center. Finally, Dr. Lynn, I would like you to ask if you can add a comment directly to the person that they are hesitated if they get the vaccine or no, or probably they can say, I don't get the vaccine and probably the pandemic is almost finished. I need to wait. What could you say that person that thinking that oh, probably just skip that vaccination? What is the risk?
That's a great question. And as we want to get back to normal living, the pre-pandemic lifestyle. And as you know, the pandemic is still around. It hasn't gone anywhere. For people that are going to be traveling and going to work and going to school, we still want to make sure they're protected. And I know that they're thinking, we all want to think that it's over, but we really don't know where we are right now in the pandemic, right? We don't know if it will evolve. We don't know if things will still change. So what we want to make sure that remind you that it's not over yet. We want to encourage you to still get vaccinated, get protected. In case you want to travel, you want to go back home as the place opens up, be protected because a lot of countries are not allowing people to come in unless you're vaccinated. And it's because they don't want to have that sort of burden and responsibility of taking care of someone who gets sick by COVID now and has severe symptoms and may need, use their resources like hospitals and, ventilators and things of that nature. So we want to encourage everybody still get vaccinated. It's not over. We are trying to move forward and every person counts. It may not be you, but somebody might be your loved ones. It might be your grandmother or your grandparents, maybe someone that's sick around you. And you want to make sure at least you yourself can minimize the extent in which this virus can replicate in your body. And so that way prevent you from passing it on, any severe disease to other ones.
Okay, Dr. Mar Lyn, a project coordinator at the Black Creek Community Health Center. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for providing our community and other communities in that area the opportunity to get the vaccine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isabel. Thank you for having me. I hope to see you there on March 4th. Thank you.
Okay, of course. Thank you so much and see you next program of Correo TV. Thank you.